season.
Hello, my name is Elias, and I'm the proprietor of Crescent Conjure, and welcome to my YouTube page. I hope that you like these videos. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be talking soon. Bye. Love magic, right? It's such a salacious topic as it should be. It's love. And you got to understand that when we're talking about these types of energies from a spiritual perspective, we are bringing that spirit down and into the subject. So I think that a lot of times when people talk about love, spiritual people, magical people, they put it into this context of like this glittery Valentine's Day, roses, romantic container. Well, I'm here to tell you, love ain't none of ain't none of that. That is what Hollywood has told you that love is, right? Love is an ancient spirit that, of course, existed way before there were Valentine's Day cards. She is responsible for, she's the glue that holds everything together. Love is the glue that holds everything together. Love is both beautiful, she's enticing. Right on the surface, she's enticing, she's sexy, she's alluring, she's got a rasp in her voice, she's got glitter on her body, right? That's love. But when you get down to it, she'll break your heart and you'll never be the same. Love is a fierce mother protecting her child who would rip you apart. You know, that's love. Love is the woman who, took care of her husband because he was cheating. That's love. Love is both beautiful and terrible. She is a divine goddess. She's perhaps one of in a lot of mythologies, and one that I like the most is a Yoruba mythology of the Orisha and how Oshun was sent down to earth originally, but the other Orisha thought that she was useless, love, right? Like Ogun was busy building the roads, and, Oshun was busy, growing the plants and all of that. And Oshun was just sitting in the ocean, combing her hair, and they're like, girl, what is you doing? So she said, oh, you don't appreciate me? Then I'll leave. And when she left, everything kind of began to crumble and fall apart until the other Orisha realized how important love was. And I think it's the same thing in humanity where we kind of get caught up on the pink cards and the roses and the perfume and the sex, and we don't realize that it's the reason why we're here. It's the reason why we exist. Two human beings had to get together and love each other for us to come about. So love is the glue that holds everything into place. It's the reason why we're here. It's the reason why all these different elements on earth collided at the same time to produce life. That's how important love is. All the elements on this planet had to be attracted to one another in order to exist. Love is the reason why you're breathing. Love is the reason why you can inhale oxygen or drink water or walk on solid or earth. That's how important the spirit of love is. There are lots of different spirits of love. We mentioned one earlier, Oshun, but there's another that I like to work with. I don't typically like to work with deities of love because deities are extreme. Deities are extreme. They're extremely intelligent spirits. And I honestly believe that the breadth of their power is greater than what humans can understand. We have all these beautiful little mythologies about them because we're trying to contain them into our consciousness. They don't fit. They don't fit. When you start working with them, you realize that they don't fit. You give them this one thing, this one request, and then boom, now you got all this over here to deal with because they're trying to teach you a lesson. That's their job, is to teach us lessons and to guide us in the path in the way that we should go. So while we have a simple desire and we are asking to acquire one small thing, they're going to make sure that they change our lives. This is why I tend not to work with deities when it comes to smaller things like potentially obtaining a partner. So I would instead want to work with an archangel, which is still a great power, but a little under a deity. And the archangel that is responsible for love is Anael. Anael is the archangel of the planet Venus. So his power, or her power, because Anael is both seen as a male and a female, is the spirit is the true spirit of love, if you ask me. When we're talking about Oshun or Aphrodite or Venus, I don't know if we're talking about love. I don't know if we're talking about goddesses of love. We're talking about goddesses of beauty and attraction. Um, that's not necessarily love. But oftentimes with these goddesses, especially Aphrodite, you'll see doves around them. So Oshun's got peacocks around her, but Anayo is a bird. Is always seen as a bird. And so when you're looking at these deities, it's like the goddess herself, Oshun or Aphrodite or Freya or whoever. We're talking about the spirit of love as it's seen through different cultural lenses. So no, they are not the same thing. I don't want to confuse anyone, but they are the same energy seen through different cultural lenses. These goddesses are often seen with birds around them because the spirit of love itself is a bird. Or at least in my experience and for my invocations of the spirit, it's always manifested to me as a bird. Love work is dangerous. For this reason, love work is dangerous. The goddess or the spirit of love is both beautiful and terrible, meaning that love work itself is extremely dangerous. It could be beautiful and it could be terrible. The truth is, real love is loving yourself first and then using that wisdom of who you are to emanate all the way out to attract the right partner, someone who is right for you, because your spirit is extending out and communicating with other spirits, and it'll attract the right one. The right Lego piece will snap in. That's true love, loving yourself first. You got to know yourself first before you do any type of love work, because you can ask for the wrong thing. And baby, let me tell you, I've done so many love spells in my time. When especially when I was younger. You make a list and it's all cute. Ooh, I want them to be, handsome. I want them to be funny. I want them to be financially stable, intelligent. You know what I'm saying? All that. And you get it. And then when you get it, it's not at all what you wanted it to be. It's not at all. It's everything you asked for. It's everything you asked for, but it's not at all what you wanted it to be, because there's something else missing. It's an it factor. And I'll tell you what the it factor is. The biggest secret. You want to know the biggest secret of all? You. The missing knowledge of you. If you don't know yourself, nothing's going to feel right. Once you know yourself, then you know who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life. That is the missing it factor, the knowledge of self. So, if you attract this perfect prince, charming, and you don't know yourself, then how could that person possibly fulfill something that you're not even aware of? So, love spells. Knowing yourself first is how you want to get the best results when you're asking for love, right? And you want to, when you're doing love work, you want to first have a list of, you do want to have a list of things that you want, and then you want to have something very specific. So we try not to be too specific, meaning you don't want to say, I want to be 6'4", he's got to have gray eyes, he's got to have green hair, he's got to have, one pinky toe bigger than the other. When you start getting really specific like that, it really limits the universe's ability to manifest this unicorn for you. And you don't know where this person exists. They could be in Alaska somewhere, and now you gotta go take a flight. And that's your fault because you asked for it. But we try to keep it simple. I always say use 5 non-physical things. So funny, intelligent, financially stable, loyal, non-physical. And then you can add little physical things in there, muscly if you want, whatever. And then one very specific thing. When I meet them, they'll be wearing a green shirt. When I meet them, they'll be wearing a brown hat. When I meet them, the first things out of their mouth will be, hey, lovely. Why do you want to use something so specific? Why do you want to, we say, you don't want to get too general because you're limiting the universe's ability to manifest. But then we say get extremely specific. You don't want to get too specific because you are limiting the universe's ability to manifest. But then we say get extremely specific. In today's age that is full of dating apps, the doorways to potentially find someone could be wide. And so we don't know, and that's the whole point of doing love magic is, okay, how many dates have you gone on? And then you don't hear from them either tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now, and you're like, oh, okay. So out of the however many people that might show interest in you, which one of those is the one that you called based on your work. You need a way to define them. And the way to define them is with that one very specific thing. So when someone comes up to you and says, hey, lovely, and they're wearing that green shirt and that brown hat, it'll snap back into place. Oh, you are the one that I called. I feel a little more confident in giving you my time and my energy because I know that you're the one that I called because you fit the requirements of the original spell work that I did. So, love work. Now, there is forceful love work, which means the love work that we just described is, asking the universe to find the right one for you, and then present them in a way that you know who they are. That's the one that you call. But then there's negative love work, and we call negative love work forceful love work, and that's to say, I want Johnny B over there because Johnny B is sexy as hell. You know what I'm saying? And I want Johnny B. And so you do love work to get Johnny B. A couple of problems with forceful love work. Problem one, usually that kind of infatuation comes with someone you don't know and haven't known for a long time. You often see it in people who've known each other for 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. Maybe they started dating or maybe they haven't started dating. Maybe they're a coworker or whatever. Usually there's not a whole lot of knowledge of the individual when someone wants to do the type of love work on them. You don't know what Johnny B has gone on in the background of their life. You don't know if they have ex-wives. You don't know if they have addictions, a tendency towards violence. You don't know all these things. And so doing a love spell on them to trap them in that way could be disastrous simply based on the things that you don't know. Next, whenever you're doing something to force someone to love you, you're going against their free will. Everyone has spirits. You're not the only one who has spirits. Whenever you bend someone's will like that, someone's spirits, all of their spirits begin to react. All alarm bells start to go off. So love spells only last for about a year for that reason. And so it'll take about a year for the average person who is not spiritual to begin getting the message of something's wrong. Okay, so as soon as you do the work, alarm bells go off and their spirits are like ding 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 ding. The average person ain't too aware of this, isn't too aware of this. So they're just feeling the heart feel of love and they fall into alignment. Eventually, that spiritual message, which then manifests in their subconscious and then manifests in their conscious mind, will begin to change their actions. So it can result in violence. So these are all forms of escapism. They're trying to escape from the situation, but they can't leave. They don't know why. They're trapped. But it results in violence. It results in cheating. It results in drug abuse. It results in just distance. The person just checks out. And the truth is that a person who does this type of work may truly love that individual and then begin to project that the person is treating them wrong when they know all along that they've done the work. So it's just a disaster. It results in a disastrous relationship that lasts for about a year. And I always say, like, you got to be really careful because you're sleeping next to the enemy. You're sleeping next to a person that's about to turn on you. It's very, 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 very dangerous. I mean, as far as debt, as far as spiritual debt goes, that bill is high. That bill is high. The bill that you get from doing something like that is super high. I'm gonna be honest with you, usually it results in not being able to find love for a very, 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 very long time because you pissed the spirit of love off and she ain't gonna ever work for you ever again. So love is an interesting subject.